Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Archana, and today I'll be sharing with you some work that we've done looking at various approaches to evaluate septic effluent inputs to tributaries and various contributing pathways. Septic systems are these on-site wastewater treatment systems that are commonly used in areas that are not connected to a municipal wastewater treatment facility. As shown in this figure here, the wastewater from the household travels into the septic tank for partial treatment. The partially treated wastewater is then released into the soil for further natural treatment. And this can actually be a really effective way of removing a lot of nutrients and contaminants. However, when septic systems aren't functioning properly, they can release a lot of poorly treated wastewater directly into our watercourses. In some cases, a lot of overland flow of the septic effluent can occur as well. And in some other cases, septic systems are actually directly connected to agricultural tile drains where it releases raw and untreated wastewater directly into our water bodies. And the knowledge base around the contribution of septic systems to nutrient, particularly phosphorus loads in our water bodies, is still poorly understood. This is where our work comes in. As a part of my research, my master's research work, we looked at 9 different subwatersheds within the Lake Erie and Lake Simcoe Basin to try to understand how septic effluent reaches the subwatershed outlets. And so to do so, we utilized acesulfame, which is a type of artificial sweetener, and we used it as sort of a wastewater tracker in these subwatersheds. The reason why we went with acesulfame is because it's highly used among the population. It's very conservative in the environment. It has low analytical detection limits, and it's only associated with human wastewater. Overall, our results suggest that there's higher amount of septic effluent reaching their subwatershed outlets during high stream discharge conditions, and this indicates that contrary to the traditional notion, groundwater may not be the dominant pathway delivering septic effluent to streams, and that more rapid pathways that become activated during wet weather events may be important as well. And we also saw that in subwatersheds with older septic systems also had a higher percentage of septic effluent reaching their outlets. To understand how septic effluent is transported to streams, we looked at concentration discharge or CQ relationships. This is an example of a positive CQ relationship, which indicates activation of high acesulfame as the stream discharge increases, suggesting pathways such as overland runoff. This shows an example of a negative CQ relationship, suggesting dilution occurring as the stream discharge increases, suggesting pathways such as groundwater or misconnections to be more dominant. And here is an example of a flat CQ relationship, which means that there may be multiple transport pathways that are simultaneously working to transport septic effluent to the subwatershed outlets. We applied the CQ relationship to the 9 subwatersheds that we had looked at. And so in some cases, we saw a negative CQ relationship. Some cases, we saw a positive relationship, while in some cases, we had a flat relationship. And so this really helps us to understand how septic effluent is transported to the various subwatershed outlets. For those interested, this work was recently published. So we will be continuing on with this work to look at how septic effluent is delivered in various season and weather conditions, and if subwatershed characteristics has an influence on it. We will also be looking more at other kinds of tracers, and eventually we would be updating and enhancing a geospatial tool that we've created at Western University, which estimates the contribution of septic systems to phosphorus tributary loads in Lake Erie and Lake Simcoe basins. Thank you.